This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com.
And welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is 1/6/2021. This is show number 183. Before we get started with the show and with Nick's wisdom and prognostications on the market, first, we haven't been doing the show for a couple of weeks. A real simple explanation. I came down with COVID-19, much to my surprise. I thought I had been doing everything I was supposed to do, taking vitamins, trying to live the best possible lifestyle, and I was taking vitamin D, taking HCQ, a whole bunch of other different zinc, and unfortunately I got exposed, wasn't expecting it. It took me for a loop, and when the symptoms came on, I was a little bit surprised, and I didn't really want to believe that I had COVID. And in retrospect now, I was totally stupid. I had to understand that I'm not impervious, that anyone can potentially get it, although not everyone is going to get it. And that really, the sooner you get on this, the sooner you're going to get better from it, the less serious it'll become. And hey, I spent a week in the hospital, had some down moments there, but through all of your prayers out there, I knew that I was going to survive it and come back stronger than ever, which is exactly what I did. So apologies for not being able to continue the show for the past 2 weeks, but Nick and I have recommitted to keep this show going and keep it going better than ever. And that's exactly what we are going to do. My only advice, what I've learned here, I wouldn't have changed anything the way I led my life the past year. I wasn't going to stay home under my bed and just pray that I didn't get it. I lived my life. I had some great times, met some great people, really did some great things the past year in spite of the pandemic. And that's the only way for me to live my life. Obviously, you have comorbidities, you have issues with your health, you have to take proper precautions that work for you. But I wouldn't have done anything differently other than to have gone to the doctor 5 days earlier, where I probably could have avoided all, or if not most, of the hospital stay. On that note, Nick, hey, the global economy, that's another hospital case, basket case going on there. But in the road to perdition here, lots of stuff, lots of things on the way. So we've got the Georgia runoff madness and its effect upon the markets today, huh?
Yeah, that we woke up today, futures were down, but I will say this, they've turned around. The markets have gone green across the board. The Dow is up 400 points right now as we speak. And the Russell 2000, which has been a monster, is now up 3%. And that's just a tremendous, tremendous run. We have bond yields moving higher. Yields on the 10-year Treasury note are up almost 10 basis points. We have yields now at 1.05%. So markets are liking everything they're seeing, and we're getting a big rally today. So that's why you want to stick with the trend, and the trend is up, and the markets are up as well.
All right. So one of the things you mentioned prior to the New Year's is that you expected much more volatility in the coming year, trading wise, economically, I guess, in every aspect of society here.
Yeah, and in fact, we've already started to see it. If you just look at the first day back on Monday, the VIX had a big spike, went above 28, and that was a pretty big move. But now it's come back down, and I think in 2021 you should be prepared for a lot of volatility spikes to occur. Right now, we're still in what we call the January effect. That's where the markets will usually continue to run sometime into maybe the third, fourth week of the month. We'll see if that happens, but that's why I'm always watching the chart. We want to stick with the patterns as long as we can. As long as the patterns give us the green light, we stick with that trend.
All right, so the trend is still our friend. It hasn't deserted us yet?
Hasn't deserted us yet, but we did get a little warning sign on Monday. The volume did spike above 100 million in the spiders. I always say that's a warning sign, but you did not get any follow through, and we held trend. So things are still okay.
All right, so the volume spiked on the spiders, and we know from the last crash in March, and we're getting up to March here again. Hard to believe it's a year ago that we had that massive crash. So we could be seeing more of the same, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll get a crash like we saw last year. That was quite something. That was the biggest decline ever in the stock market for 30 days. I don't know or wouldn't expect that, but I didn't expect it back then either. But I would definitely start watching these charts very, very closely and seeing what is working, what is not working, and also looking at the very important sectors for signs that there are problems out here. Right now, things seem to be okay, though.
All right, so we want to look at the important sectors. Just briefly tell us a couple of sectors to watch out for.
Well, you have to watch technology. Technology was the biggest winner last year, the NASDAQ up over 40%. So you have to keep an eye on tech. If tech starts to show signs of failing or signs of rolling over, that would be problematic. But remember last year, going into the end of the year, we had the hot IPOs, the DoorDashes, the Airbnbs. These things were rushed out the door. That's a warning signal right off the bat. You had a lot of these new issues via the SPAC market. That's these companies that do these little merger acquisitions to become public. And then you had a lot of micro caps make these mega type moves. That's what we call a dash for trash. And those are all warning signs of a toppy market.
All right, so the dash for trash and to basically throw out your cash. Finally, let's just talk about gold because we haven't done this for a couple of weeks. We saw a major movement in silver and in gold, and it just snuck up like when nobody was noticing, and boom, right?
Yeah, it did. It really had a nice little move. So that was something to see, and we'll just see how it plays out from here. But overall, if the markets start to really roll over, you got to always be a little bit careful of the precious metal market. These things lately, a lot of things trade somewhat in tandem with each other. So again, this is going to be a market where you're going to have to look at each individual industry group, each individual sector, and you're going to have to interpret what the charts are telling you there.
All right. So just keep your eyes posted, but certainly it's put in a really significant performance here, and probably we're in the process of laying ground for the next rally, huh?
We could be, but you have to really see what you get. These patterns are very, very tricky right now. The month of January is a very tricky month. Just think about it, and I'm just going to refer to the stock market. You have people that were holding equities into last year, at the end of the year, to not really try to claim any tax gains, and then this year they'll take it off the table. So the month of January is very, very tricky. It's really going to be all about the pattern.
All right. Okay, I guess we'll leave it at that. In any event, make sure you go over to Nick's site, inthemoneystocks.com. Take a look at his trading record and all that information that's available for your use. Subscribe to the Twitter feeds. We got at ITMS, at Nick Santiago 01, at Kerry Lutz. Send us your emails. Send us any feelings. Hey, what are you doing to stay safe from COVID? What are you doing to protect your portfolio from potential volatility? We'd like to know all that. Nick, it's great to be back on. Thanks so much for hanging in there with me and your prayers, and we will talk to you again tomorrow.
It's great to have you back, Kerry.
And so concludes another episode of Daily Market Wisdom with Master Trader Nick Santiago. Be sure to go to his website, inthemoneystocks.com. Don't forget the Twitter feeds at ITMS and at Nick Santiago 01.